maybe you'd like a little more stability. Ride him with Kinner and Pitt rounding out the front row. Now, I am very impressed with Craig McMartin. I think this guy's going a long way.
He's only 22 years old, had a little bit of a try in the Shell Series last year. He's giving it a full go this year, and he's now beginning to run up with the front runners. But what's amazing is all these names, Turnbull, Kinner, McAteer, McMartin, like we say, who are they? But you'll note that they're under the lap record held by Gary McCoy at this circuit, as Andrew Pitt on bike 8 gets the whole shot up into turn 1, and he leads the field. Chad Turnbull, the Queenslander, bike number 7, he slots into second as another crop of young Aussie guns head off in search of glory.
Well, they certainly are keen, and these guys are more than prepared to pull the pin. It's remarkable, isn't it, that the majority of them are either students or at university or whatever it might be, whilst we're all thinking you've got to be experienced and have an old head on your shoulders to do this. In fact, they have. A majority of them have come up through mini bike racing, dirt track racing, whatever it might be. At 18 years of age, Chad Turnbull has a wealth of experience under the belt and has only just been allowed into a hotel for a drink.
Well, he's got 2 Australian dirt track titles to his credit and over 30 Queensland state victories, so he's a very experienced racer. But he's hungry, he's talented, and so is Andrew Pitt and so is Michael Kinner, the 3 now fighting for the lead on these stock standard Suzuki RGV 250s. Costing less than $10,000 as we look at the others now latching on behind. You can't make a break in this field. The bikes are so close, the talent's so close, and it's very hard to get out in front. As soon as you get a gap, you've got a front wheel sticking up underneath you. Andrew Pitt all over bike number 8, the budget RGV, and that's budget as in budget rent-a-car, not budget as in cheaply priced. Although this is a very economically priced class of racing for these riders to get into. Because the bikes are so cheap, they've then got the money left over to travel all around the country and contest the series. And that's always difficult when you're a teenager, as Chad Turnbull is, or when you're going to university, as Andrew Pitt is on bike 8. But these two, they've been the class act of the field. But Michael Kinner, tucked in behind on bike 69, the Raceway Suzuki, he's a very determined man as well, as the slipstreaming battle about to take part down the straight. Turnbull couldn't pass Pitt there, so he had to tuck in behind and get a toe down into the braking area.
I think slipstreaming really does come into play in this. They have to, that's Chris McAteer at the back of the field into the sand trap. So that's eliminated one of the worries for Chad Turnbull, and his other worries right behind him. That's Michael Kinner, bike 69. Bad luck there for McAteer. One thing about this place, it is safe. The sand traps are superb for motorcycle racing. Look at Paul McAteer. He is distraught about that, and probably an unforced error for him under brakes. But this 250 production class really does allow the competitors to work on machinery setup in a cost-effective manner. You cannot afford to be throwing heaps of money at the bikes, not really sure about which direction you're headed. At least with production racing, you know that the bike that's beside you going down the straight is as close to specification as yours as you're ever going to see. And considering that they're virtually all Suzuki RGVs, you can be pretty well sure it's got the same top speed as well. McMartin up into 4th place, and Jeff Windsor, he's got a few more years on some of these young blokes. Now, under brakes, was that under the yellow flag or not? It seemed to me that here we go on replay. Let's have a look at this. Before they've gotten to the flagman, Turnbull has gotten up the inside of Pitt. So it is a legal move, quite within his rights to do so. And I wonder if Andrew Pitt was just holding back that little bit. Turnbull saw that and thought, I'll take that gap, thank you very much. Turnbull into the lead, Pitt, then it's Michael Kinner. Now, Michael Kinner has started to come of age very quickly in this series. Throughout 1996, he has started to grow into the role, and now very competitive and very confident at the front of the field.
All these names that we're mentioning, they're unknown to people around Australia. Turnbull, Pitt, we mentioned it before, people like Ryan, people like Kinner. But let's go through some of the people in this class that have gone on to bigger and better things. As we look at Chad Turnbull, I'm sure he's going to follow in their footsteps. Previous Australian champions, Matt Mladen won a championship in this class. Gary McCoy holds the lap record at Wanneroo on a 250 production bike. Names that are familiar to a lot of our readers. People like Aaron Slight, Michael Doohan, Kevin McGee, all started their racing on 250 production machines. Anthony Gobert had his first national level ride in the Shell Series here at Wanneroo in 1992. So just because we haven't heard of Chad Turnbull before, or Andrew Pitt, who tucks in behind, comes out of the slipstream, slips past and now takes the lead, don't think that we won't be hearing of these names in years to come.
Well, they're all looking to move their way forward into the 600 Super Sport class. It seems now that there's a natural progression up from 250 production to 600 Super Sport, then look for a superbike ride given that you have the talent. And these guys certainly appear to have the talent. And don't forget, all the superbike teams are watching these classes, 600 Super Sport, 250 production, looking for potential riders because their riders move on to Europe. McMartin there, front end pattering as he came through the S's. Oh, look at this, you can see the front end really moving around. Now, Ken Wooten, that is a very uneasy feeling.
It is, and it also shows a lack of experience. These guys have young, raw talent, but not a lot of knowledge in setting up bikes. And while the bikes can't be altered substantially, they can be fine-tuned. And on the front end, we're talking about how you set the suspension. It is adjustable. You can fiddle with the sort of oil that you put in the front forks. And Craig McMartin, at 22 years of age, he's still got a little bit of learning to do there, but he's riding around the problem. He's now up to third place and challenging for the lead. That last lap through, 1.39 seconds covered the top 6 riders in the field. So there's no room for anyone to take a breather. And let's go through some of the other names. We mentioned the international stars before, as we've got a 3-bike freight train for the lead, fighting into turn 1, and McMartin actually up into the lead, irrespective of his pogo-like front end. But in the superbikes that ran earlier today, Peter Goddard, Dean Thomas, Troy Bayliss, Damon Buckmaster all started their road racing career on 250 production bikes. So whether it's international or whether it's local racing, what we're seeing here is the future of Australia's road racing talent. And Craig McMartin, I don't think he's ever led a Shell Advanced Series round before on his RGV. It's sponsored by the stable in Wagga. He's travelled a lot of kilometres to get over to Wanneroo to contest this round, and he's out in front. Behind Andrew Pitt, then Chad Turnbull, then Michael Kinner. All bikes evenly matched. It's really going to come down to who's in the slipstream down this straight the last time, because I wouldn't want to be leading, because I reckon if you're in front, somebody's going to duck out from behind and zip past under brakes, and that's what Andrew Pitt's done that lap, and Chad Turnbull, he's tucked in right behind.
Turnbull trying to use race tactics out there at the moment. I think you can have a plan, but whether you can actually use it is a different matter in 250 production racing. Pitt looks strong. He has to defend, of course, and he'll try and make that bike as wide as he possibly can. Michael Kinner got himself wide that time through. That has really just taken the distance out a little bit, possibly a little bit too much for this charge for the last lap to the flag. Now, who will it be? Well, Andrew Pitt, we know that he is quick through this area here, down into the basin. He seems to be able to hold off virtually anybody through here. But McMartin, well, the front end, pattering or not, gets the thing sideways, very late under brakes. Now, Turnbull could not capitalise on that. Possibly he can do something with it as they come out of the basin. Everyone angling for position. Turnbull now up the inside. Remember, they're one corner from the flag. Who will it be? Turnbull's up the inside of McMartin. Andrew Pitt looks to have this one in control. One late break from the flag. Turnbull gets up the inside from third all the way through to first and will grab it and take the win. Can you believe that? A superb performance from all 4 of those competitors. Turnbull looks pretty pleased about it. Thank you very much, he says. Andrew Pitt grabs second and Craig McMartin a fighting third. Time now for some super...
That's a big slap too.